Hello, my name is Teresa Giovanna, and today I'm going to share with you a little bit about a time when I had to be particularly brave. The date was October 6, 2014, and I was a law school student at the time. I was an evening law student, so I had left my day job and I was in class when I had to go to the restroom. So I got up and left. The halls were empty. And as I was exiting the restroom, there was a male student coming towards me. I am 5'7", I 122 in pounds, and he's over 6 feet tall, and he weighs more than 200 pounds. I was just leaving my employment, so I'm wearing high heels, I'm wearing a dress. The floors in the law school were marble. So I'm leaving the restroom and I'm trying to walk down the hall, and this male corners me in a way that I realized he wasn't going to let me go by. And I tried to just shrink myself back as far as I could, but then he used the full weight of his body, his more than 200 pounds, to knock me into that wall. And immediately I began to look for his hands. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I was in the Marines at the time. I began to look for his hands. At the same time, I'm thinking about a sexual violation. I'm thinking about the recent shootings that happened in colleges and universities, and I'm realizing that someone who does this in a law school atmosphere does not wish to live, because he can't possibly think that he's gonna have a successful career after he does something like this. So, I was frightened, but I remember using all of the strength that I had eventually, as I'm wedged between him and this wall, using all the strength I had to get by him. And when I did, I know I should have run, but my instinct was to fight. So I stopped and I whirled around, just outraged that someone would see me as a victim and do this. So I turned around and he's standing there facing me. His pants are down. His hands are balled up into fists. He's heaving. His body's heaving. He's drooling. His eyes are red. And then I know that fighting is not an option and I need to get out of there. I'm then calculating how long it will take me to get out of my high heels. I'm also a marathon runner, so I knew that was a good option, except that my floors are marble and underneath those heels I'm wearing stockings. So ultimately I would be spared that day. I didn't have time to take off my shoes, so I just tried to run in my heels. And as I'm rounding the corner, who comes towards me but another male student there's not that many students in the school who could match this guy's weight and height, but the male student who happened to come into the hallway that day was comparable to his size and weight. And I remember just grabbing him and saying, "Help me." And he did. Sorry. He did. So ultimately I was spared that day. Sorry. Ultimately I was spared that day. And I came forward and reported it to the school. And what happened next was sort of even more devastating, because I watched my heroes. I watched people who had said they fought for civil rights refused to acknowledge what happened. When I asked about the video cameras right over the place, they asked me if we indeed had video cameras, and they're there. And they could have very well checked. People began to then say that he's a great student and to pretend as if nothing happened. So after a year and a half of writing letters to the U.S., to the Manhattan District Attorney, to Mayor de Blasio, to the White House, to anyone who would listen, to the U.S., to the Board of Education Office of Civil Rights, after no one was willing to help, I commenced a lawsuit on my own. My health was depleted at that point. I could no longer work at that point. I was suffering panic attacks. I had physical manifestations of illnesses within my body. I commenced the lawsuit thinking that I was going to die, and someone had to know what happened, because I want you to be able to attend a university of your choosing without being assaulted, without anyone trying to assault you, without the fear of violence, without the fear that you're not gonna make it out of that school. So I commenced the litigation, and I'm still there. I'm still there, but it was one of the scariest moments of my life. It took an immense amount of bravery for me to do that. Yes, I am a Marine. Yes, I am a marathon runner, but it took something else out of me to get to this point, because I was standing alone. I was threatened and told I wouldn't work, that I would burn bridges if I decided to sue the school. But it was literally my last option because I had reached out to everyone privately and I had watched them cover this up. I was told to remove any mention of it from social media. My grades after that, I failed classes. I was failed by professors. I was mocked by professors in class. So I was terrified, and classmates were saying they couldn't come forward because their careers might be impacted. So I was quite afraid of what my life would look like, what my personal life, what my professional life would look like. But it's something I had to do as a Marine, as a woman, as a human, as an American. And I'm glad I did. And this is my plea to you, that stand by your convictions, live your values. I am recovering today slowly. I am recovering from all of the attacks that I've faced, but I don't regret it and I would never go back. Thank you for letting me talk with you today a little bit about my experiences, and yes, I hope to hear from you. Ciao.